Hey, 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 welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. This is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, excuse me, let me just go ahead and put these cards back into the deck. I asked the Piscean energy what this reading is going to be about, and I heard he's about to get fancy. Put on your fancy undies. We's about to get fancy. So let's go ahead and start pulling some cards. Let's pull some cards and see what's going to happen. Pisces, how are you coping? I know many of the Pisces are very sensitive to the struggles of other people around us, around the world, all of that. Pisces, I hope you guys are coping okay. Let me just put this. All right, pulling cards now. Commando, no panties. Hey, samesies. Samesies. I have a compromised nerve in my low back. And unless they're grandma chonies that tuck under the bra, not gonna work for me. Not gonna work for me. Okay, I'm gonna quit messing around. Oh, Pisces. You're being lick claimed by creation. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, you about to fly. All right. Makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Let's hold this deck too. I'm almost done, guys. Almost done. Thank you for being so patient. So how are you guys coping? Is everyone... I know many of us are close to it, if not already there, you know? So let's just... Oh, you know what? Damn. Okay. And then I'm told... All right. Oh, yeah, I need to put this. Okay, so here goes. Here goes. These are additional messages. Pisces, you belong to paradise, okay? Just like the flower belongs to the earth. We need to stop getting in the way of our blossoming. We are here as members of a group that really is very well suited to serve, to assist humanity at large, not just individuals. I'm not talking about the way we've been actively allowing ourselves to go out of our way to help people who don't really need help. They just prefer that we do it for us. Okay. So this is about allowing yourself to blossom, allowing yourself to recognize when to walk away from something, allowing yourself to know when you should still stay and assist, just really allowing the messages to come through. You have to allow yourself to experience stillness while you're allowing all of this other stuff. You have to sit in that stillness and really, really listen to what your soul is telling you. So many of us are having our intuition go full active, okay? So many of us are having our intuition go full active. We know, we feel, we're getting these messages. They're very direct. Thank you. They're very direct messages, yet what ends up happening is we try and convince ourselves, no, that's not what the message is, because we're afraid. That fear of hearing the message is gonna F you up real bad. If you're gonna be afraid of something, be afraid that you actively ignoring the messages is gonna put you in some really ugly circumstance. You know what I just realized? My laptop is plugged in, but do you guys want me more bright? Sorry. You have to allow yourself to hear this, like really, really hear it. Everybody's psychic, not just Pisces. Every single person has psychic ability. It's not extra sensory ability. It's a higher perception. Okay. It's just a higher level of perceiving things. All of us have these very basic abilities, but we all vary in degree of allowing ourselves to recognize the truth of our abilities. So Pisces, fear. Your higher self is calling you out. Okay. And you don't even have to be Pisces. If this message is resonating, this message is for you. You have to sit in that stillness and allow the messages to come through and listen to the messages. Okay. The fear that you experience that's causing you to cower and cocoon yourself, that's not going to help you. Is not going to help you. So you're also being called out for holding on to toxic things. So card number 25, release a dark wound, let love live. You're holding on to toxic things. Your perception, your concept of love is distorted. If you can't give people, well, for some, if you can't give people the freedom to make their own choice, that is a distorted type of love. If you're going to sacrifice yourself for out of love for someone else, is that love? That's not love either. That is toxicity. That's a codependency. And it's not going to help anyone involved in whatever the circumstance is. So fear and stillness, those are major, major messages from your soul. Party is getting started, I just heard. Yeah, party's getting started. Card number 6, Epiphany, reveal your gifts. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. It's time for you to allow the truth of who you are, the gravity of your presence to be felt, to be seen, to be heard. It's time to stand up, Pisces. Okay. So first we were in stillness. And when we allowed the stillness to quell the fear, to give us the opportunity to actually let go of what we're holding on to because of the fear, we then had the epiphany that revealed to us our gifts. One of our gifts being wings to fly. We're being given our freedom. Freedom from whatever way you've been existing to this point. A way in which your needs, your soul is not being honored. Pisces, stop with the self-destructive behavior. Card number 10, discernment. We have our power in the palm of our hands. We literally have our personal power being given back to us. In this moment, it's being given back to us. Yet we choose to live with our head in the clouds, allowing ourselves to be blinded to what it is we're holding. You know, your personal power is a type of heat that can burn you. It literally, it can burn you. Okay. I once wasn't listening to the guidance of my soul when I was harnessing energy to do energy work. And I had what appeared to be chemical burns on the backs of my hands. If you dig through my my Facebook business page post, you'll see it's a picture of my hands like this, and it's all burnt right up in there, and it hurt real bad. It hurt because I was refusing to see the truth of my power. I was still allowing for all this galactic coding to come in. to be received and activate my template, yet I wasn't willing to see my process, to see what it was that I was doing. And that ended up hurting me instead of helping me. But sometimes that's how we choose to learn, right? Through resistance and struggle. And if that's how you choose to learn, perfectly fine, because you actually learn the lesson in a much more profound way through that struggle. But it's going to be a struggle and you chose it. So you can't blame other people. You can't be like, well, because other people hurt me. No, boo boo, you hurt yourself. You hurt yourself. You chose that for yourself. When you don't listen to the guidance of soul and you end up getting hurt, you chose that. No one else. People and circumstance were allowed to become a part of your journey to give you an opportunity to choose yourself, and you didn't choose yourself. So you chose, that was the causation that led to the effect that you're now upset about. So just be real with yourself, be honest with yourself. Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. You're worth it. Pisces, you're worth it. You are worth fighting for. You are worth waiting for. You are worth going through whatever it is that needs to happen in order to fully ripen you and your understanding and acceptance of your gifts. So, this is important. Your spiritual team is blocking your ears from receiving messages that are distorted, messages that basically is mimicry, okay? But you have to develop a relationship with your higher self in order to understand how this filter works. Your third eye and your crown are protected. Your wisdom is returning back to you. You're being reborn. Look at that sacred Yanni, okay? You're being reborn. But for some Pisces, you're still choosing to exist like a rotten-ass fish. The smell of that. Allow your process to occur. Just allow your process to occur. Let's see. Oh. The next card is serendipity in reverse. It says merge with the flow. Many Pisces, I'm going to call you out on this, okay? Actually, soul is calling you out on this. You're not merging with your flow. You're fighting it. You're fighting it. And it eventually makes you stronger, okay? Instead of allowing the river to flow and you just, calmly float and allow it to take you to wherever it's taking you, you're trying to swim upstream. That's one hell of a struggle. It takes a lot longer. You become exhausted. It often involves way more pain than is actually necessary, but it works you out. It makes you stronger. So no matter what, you're going to get to wherever it is your soul is guiding you to be. Because really, the river is a cycle. Okay? It's a cycle. And it's bringing you to the same place. Whether you allow yourself to float or fight against the current, it's bringing you to the same place. But you have to recognize what you're doing. You have to hold yourself accountable. The next card, opportunity. The opportunity, is it buffering? Can you guys hear and see me? Are you guys able to hear and see me? Okay. So the opportunity is, it's going away. This path is not going to continue to be held open indefinitely. So today, Pisces, you have to choose. I don't know what you're choosing from, but you have to choose. That's what I'm being told. Today is a day that you choose. And if you choose to not take this opportunity, not seize the day, I don't know how that ends for you. I don't know what this process entails, but I do know from my own process, my own journey, whenever I don't take the opportunity that soul is providing me, in a more gentle, controlled way, like I want to be difficult about it, I usually end up screwing myself over. I usually do. I usually end up struggling way, way, way more than what's necessary. And I look back and I'm like, I'm such a silly hoe. I totally fucked that up. That's so, it could have been so much easier, but no, I had to do it the hard way. It makes me stronger. I ain't tripping. Card number 17, self-reflection. See? Part of you is facing the reality of what's going on around you, what's going on to you, within you. You're facing it with your eyes closed. You see how that is? You're facing it, but with your eyes closed. And the other part of you is just full on ignoring. Full on ignoring. So what is it? What is it? What are you so afraid of? What are you afraid of seeing in your reflection? Because whether you see it or not, it's already a part of you. This is just about a process of acknowledgement. Okay? It's a process of acknowledging whether I wanted to see in myself or not the things that I'm capable of doing. I was still capable of doing them. I just wasn't doing it. You see how that works? I still had those abilities. I still had that greatness. I always have, even as a child, just like with you. You've always had this greatness within you since even before your birth. And just because you don't believe in yourself doesn't mean other people don't recognize, don't see the gravity of who and what you are. So Pisces, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to finally open your eyes? Are you going to take a look? Or are you going to choose to allow both your halves to turn around and walk away from who you are? Card number 20, softly, softly, the tender touch. You're needing to have tender conversations with yourself to encourage yourself to begin the process of self-acceptance, self-understanding, really embracing who you are in this moment. This concept of, if I change this about myself, then I'll be a better person. That's a lie. That's a lie. You're perfect as you are right now. You were created the way you are for a reason. And just because you don't understand that reason doesn't mean you have to villainize what you're experiencing. So there's things that I don't understand. So because I don't understand it, I'm going to go ahead and label that as evil. I don't understand darkness. Oh my God, that's evil. That's evil because it's dark, because, you know, dark is the opposite of light and light is good because light and love. Dark is not the opposite of light. It's the absence. It's the absence. They go together, hand in hand. It's a juxtaposition that allows for the clarity of the definition of each. By placing one beside the other, our definition for each of both of those components becomes further refined. You need both. You need all your parts. You need the totality of who and what you are in order to understand who and what you are. If you think you're going to go through this process and just cherry pick the parts of you that you like, you have no idea what you're cherry picking until it's juxtaposed by something that's the absence of that. Do you know what you got? Do you? Or are you kind of just, well, it sounds good. It looks good. Must be good. That's like this logic of 70% at 1122. This logic of everything organic is good for you. Yeah. Ask a chemist. Ask a chemist. Is every organic chemical compound, whatever it is, if it's organic, it's good for you, right? They'll laugh at you. They'll totally laugh at you. Give me 1 second, guys. All done. Those are some statements. Those are some statements. Yeah. The whole nature doesn't forgive weakness. Nature doesn't have emotion, honey. Nature doesn't have emotion. Stop trying to give human characteristics to something that's so far beyond the limitations of a human concept. Just saying. Just saying. It's not a sense of, it's not a circumstance of nature doesn't forgive weakness. It's the stupidity of entering an environment that you know nothing about. This concept of trying to prove to other people, it's ego. There's nothing within nature that participates in the human ego of forgiveness and weakness and any of that. Card number 29, seeing the true you. This is about seeing the true you. Okay? Like recognizing when you make asinine comments like that, it doesn't make you sound somehow intellectually superior or stable emotionally and mentally. It doesn't. It doesn't. We all have the capability of violence to some degree. What are you going to do with that capability? There's this amazingly powerful quote about those who are capable of extreme violence but choose to remain peaceful are peaceful. Those who are not capable of violence, they're not peaceful. They're helpless. Okay? I think we've established pretty much everyone in the human group is capable of some form of violence. And separation from a group mentally and emotionally is a form of violence as well. You're violently ripping yourself away from the very group that you are supposed to become homogenous with. This act of segregation because of mindset, because of flawed logic, that's a violent act. The whole point of this experience is to have a homogenized people that will lead to equilibrium, stabilization. You talk about competition and collaboration. You know what? I'm gonna just leave that alone. I'm gonna listen for truth. Card number 36, listening for truth. In a time of darkness, you're gonna come across a lot of people who preach all kind of shit. It's shit. It's just bullshit. Okay, that's my personal opinion. It's bullshit. You know, people who come across talking about righteousness and, you know, those who are righteous, those who are stronger, will be those survivors. The people who have that kind of logic are going to be the first one to fuck themselves over. Look at that movie, Hunger Games. Did Katniss have that kind of stupidity? And yeah, I'm being harsh at this point because that kind of shit just pisses me off. The righteous will serve. Who fucking determines who's righteous? You? Who set the criteria to make one a righteous individual? Usually it's the people who create the criteria to set the parameters for righteousness. Those are the most crooked motherfuckers ever. Those are the ones who condemn people they don't understand to hell, failing to realize that the teachings they follow from a man that once lived long time ago are being bastardized by their behaviors. Who did Jesus hang out with? It sure as hell wasn't the Pharisees or the elite. He hung out with the dregs of society. Jesus hung out with the lepers, with the prostitutes, the people who society threw away. He saw the value in everyone. So that kind of shit, fuck out of here with that shit. Card number 1, after the storm. After the storm, all of us will have exactly what we need. The experiences, the ripening of our inner under and overstanding of self and soul, just all of that. We're going to have everything that we need. And what we have will be different from what someone else has, from someone else, from someone else, from someone else. The fact is, we're not all meant to have the same thing, the same mindset, the same skills, the same strengths, the same weaknesses, because we're learning how to work together. And really, you know, for people who want to comment shit that perpetuates that flawed ass logic, you're just going to be removed permanently. I don't want to be around any of that shit. I don't give a damn if I inspire you or you want to call me sister. No, we ain't sisters. If you preach that kind of shit, well, the righteous, or you're fucking out. You're the disowned cousin that be fucking talking out her ass, writing checks her ass can't cash. You're out. Keep watching the videos in silence. You're out. Okay? Because that's not what this is about. I don't agree with you. I do not support you. And you're just fucking out. This is about recognizing this is a time for us to begin having real conversation and actually hearing each other out. That's what this time is about. It's not about, oh, I knew this was happening, all the sheeple. You're part of the sheeple, you dumbass. You're part of the sheeple. If you're in a human body, you're a part of the sheep. I'm part of the sheeple. Okay? We're all fucking lemmings running towards one thing in abject fear. Because your perception, that's just a perception. It's a perception. We all go over the cliff back to our home together. Okay? Not a single one of us gets off of this earth plane without first dying. So if you think like, oh, I'm going to survive this and this, hate to tell you this, your logic is flawed. You're part of the controlled opposition that's continuing to perpetuate the separation, segregation of a singular consciousness. And no, I'm not a love and light channel. I'm a real and raw channel. And I get tired of this kind of shit and I try and keep quiet, but you know what? No, not today. Not today. I ain't going to keep quiet on that shit today. Today is the day we put on our fancy ass panties because we about to have a party. We about to have a party. This is about our rise. Our rise together as a singular consciousness. Pisces, you're being tasked to lead the way in some, I don't know, but you're being tasked to lead the way. And if you're going to be that typical Pisces where it's like, well, I don't want to say because I don't want to offend their feelings. You need to get out of that mindset. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you what to do right now. Get out of that mindset because it's feeding the fuel for the controlled opposition. Something doesn't feel right. Your intuition is telling you this is an insult to my soul and therefore our soul. Say something. They already think we crazy anyway, so fuck them. Talk. Say something. Oh, you think I'm crazy? Okay, well, let me just get real crazy with you right now. Let me really tell you what's up. People, I'm telling you. Let me pull more cards. Let's get galactic with this too. I'm just saying, people be trying to engage conversation, looking at this, thinking I'm gonna be passive and shit, love and light, because it's, tarot cards and I'm Asian. You got a whole nother fucking experience coming to you. Okay? Make sure you understand I got Capricorn in my chart. Major placement. I ain't got no fear of ramming my horn up your ass. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. I'm as salty as a sea goat gets. Let me just put these away so I could put these away later. Let me pull out the other cards. Yo. People be acting out of pocket and shit. What kind of game of pool you think this is? Trying to pop out of pocket. Fuck out of here with that. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. My soul planet is Mars. So sometimes Mars totally pops its head out, and I really have no shame about it either. I should put that on the channel description for people to understand. That's like the little disclaimer. And to that individual that daddy removed, would you like your balls back? I'll put it in a satin purse and leave it on the dresser next to your tip. Here we go. So we got Chariot in reverse, movement of residence, journey, victory over situation or problem, balancing the opposite polarities. Okay. Oh, someone got we got some fire grilled eggplant up in this. That's actually really good. If you just like sear the skin of the eggplant and then grill it with some oil. It's so good. Okay. Yeah. Not you, Nicholas. You make a bad father. Get out of here. Anyways, the Chariot card in reverse. This is about Pisces needing to recognize you have not been making that forward movement the way your soul is wanting you to. This movement is not based on my expectation of you or someone else's expectation of you. This has a lot to do with your soul having these plans for your trajectory. Okay. So, make sure you hold yourself accountable for when you drag your feet, when you fully resist, all of that stuff. Okay. This is not about rushing yourself. This is about flowing with the timeline set by your soul, by your higher self. So, Two of Pentacles, money confusion, juggling two situations or ideas around. This is also about me juggling your balls that I just took off of you. There you go. You got it back. Go away. Two of Pentacles. I feel you still in the audience. Two of Pentacles, and it's a weak energy. Sorry. Did that truth slip out my mouth? It did. Two of Pentacles. This is me juggling my balls, which is much bigger than yours. Okay, girl, that needed a song. Okay, I can let it go now. I can let it go now. Okay, wait, hold up. Let's ask Bish. Bish, can I let this go now? Why are you shaking like that? Why are you scared? Bish, can I let this go now? She said yes. I gave you $20. Bish, you tell him no. I cannot let this go. All right, I'll let it go. Whatever. Anyways, Two of Pentacles. This is about recognizing for some people, our energies are indeed intertwined. This is a need to balance, a need to recognize what the connection is, identify if it's something that's toxic, something that's beneficial. If it is something that's toxic, take a moment to let yourself see, is this toxicity helping me to grow? Because sometimes we're allowed to have connections with toxic circumstance and individuals because it grows us through resistance and challenge. Just because something is toxic doesn't always mean run for the hills, okay? It doesn't always mean run for the hills. Jim is here, salty sea goat in the building. Hashtag hug a dick. Hashtag hug a dick. With your salty duck salmonella. I'm sorry, it's an inside joke that I said on live streams. We got the World card in reverse. Money, luck, world in the palm of your hands, new opportunities. So long as the Chariot is continuing to remain in reverse, so is the World card. You're stopping the flow of energy. You're stopping the flow of your own progress. Just allow yourself to flow. And this doesn't mean like we're going to just be namaste the whole time and love and light. And this is, I don't know what people are saying. I tend to ignore a lot of things. Whatever it is they're saying to promote blinders and earmuffs for the truth, don't allow yourself to partake in that for too long, because the intensity of that avoidance amplifies rather quickly. Okay. So King of Pentacles in reverse, business, arrogance, powerful. This is more than just business that we're taking care of, Pisces. Yes, we're here for business. But yes, we're also here for our personal growth. It's time for you to stop putting yourself in the back seat. That's right, Els Michelle. We fucking it up. I just wanted to say the F word. And to support you in your thoughts. So 4 of Swords in reverse, sickness, bed illness, needing to take time out, rest and relaxation is needed here. Pisces, you've had enough rest and relaxation. We've had enough rest and relaxation. We have. Okay. This is why for most of our lives, Pisces, we've totally been like floating along, sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. So yeah, no more of that. That's what the soul is trying to say. No more of that. No more wasting time. Let's get out the galactic cards. And then we're probably going to call it a day. Okay. Yeah. Well, rest in taking action for ourselves. But most Pisces, their mind is constantly going. Their need to help others, like the movement, the action to help others is constantly on. But the movement for self, we're constantly resting that. Okay, I give up on that shit. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Ooh. Sharing cultural ideals and feminine principle. Card number 66 and card number 19. Sharing cultural ideals is, in some ways, it's like controlled opposition. There are people who don't realize when we continue to assign specific characteristics, specific processes, mindsets, even ways of speaking, even here's a really good one, hairstyles that it's a cultural thing. It belongs to only one culture. So something that can be very beneficial, the sharing of our differences and celebrating each other and our differences, can very, very quickly be something that actually perpetuates the separation, the whole cultural misappropriation of things. Now, I'm not saying that, everything that falls under the umbrella of cultural misappropriation is bullshit, because there are some things where it's like, that's some fucked up shit. But the more petty and more commonly talked about, very widely known and discussed forms of cultural misappropriation, it's a form of controlled opposition to prevent the reunification of a people, to prevent us from celebrating each other. Okay. Yeah, it just is. And we have to learn to recognize when the misappropriation of culture is malicious, and when it's just, a celebration of each other, and a call for something outside of us to find some dysfunctional pathology within that celebration. Because really, even for a beautiful circumstance, if you're looking for the negativity in that, you will find it. You will find it. Like, this is a beautiful reading for you guys. There's a lot of encouragement, upliftment, empowerment through truth. But then there's someone that's probably going to comment later, "You're disgusting. Look at the way you talk. Fuck you. Wrong channel." Okay? There you go. I just, Michael's yelling. I'm sorry. I knew that was a setup for a flip off. I just wanted to flip someone off. So card number 19, feminine principle. Okay. The feminine, for all the mammals, you'll see actually, I think this might be true for all of creation. The feminine energy can absolutely be far more savage than the masculine. This even extends to creation. If you look at esoterica, you look at the relationship between Shiv and Kali, they employed her feminine principle to devour darkness. She had to be darker than the darkest in order to devour that darkness. And some would be like, oh my gosh, she's so evil because she is like consuming things and drinking blood and she's like has her tongue out. Well, if you really understand it, if you allow yourself to go to the roots of those stories, the reason she was consuming those things was so they couldn't replicate. So they couldn't. Sorry, personal message coming through. Send you to spiritual voicemail. I'll listen to you later. She was consuming those things because it was to prevent the spread of this unbalanced darkness. And really, what ended up happening, and I might have this story all screwed up, so you might have to Google this shit on your own. But she became, she was teetering on the edge of lack of control, and Shiv had to just lay there. Shiva had to just lay there. And then when she stepped on him, she's like, I'm so sorry, boo. I didn't mean to step on you. I was just so focused. And so the feminine can swing between those polarities of extreme darkness and extreme light. This feminine principle is what we need to tap into as Pisces, allowing ourselves to swing wildly like a naked Miley Cyrus on a wrecking ball with no apologies for twerking. See what I'm saying? You have to allow yourself to encompass the totality of who and what you are. You are both the light and a bringer of the dark. Does that mean you're demonic? No, demonic things are unbalanced darkness. But if you can embrace your shadow and begin to explore it, you'll begin to understand how to harness that in ways that are beneficial. That's how you become a totality. This whole love and light, let's just be positive, let's ignore anything that makes us uncomfortable. That encourages a very unbalanced existence. The more you reject your shadow, the more unbalanced you'll become. The further from center you'll be thrown. And that's up to you. But you're going to waste a lot of your focus and energy on trying to maintain balance, when if you just allow yourself to be centered in your truth, knowing you have a light side, you have a dark side, they work beautifully together, there's no need to balance. By virtue of being centered, balance is restored with no effort. And you don't have to try to be you. You already are you. This is just a process of you recognizing the parts of you that you keep pushing away and ignoring. Once upon a time, I would have never, ever gotten aggressive like this in front of so many people watching, because heaven forbid that makes me look like a ratchet. Heaven forbid that shines a negative light on the way I was raised and therefore my parents and family. Heaven forbid, heaven forbid, heaven forbid. Well, heaven forbid I be a real person with real feelings and a real reaction and response to real stupidity. If it offends my soul, I will defend my soul as appropriate. I will fight for my soul's honor. And I no longer have any apologies about that. You can't be fucking pissed off that you caught the thorns from a rose bush when the rose was minding her own fucking business and you try and grab it shit. Well, bleed on, brother, bleed on. I'm just saying, it's graduation day. Graduate from this paradigm of stupidity. It is. I mean, I know, I probably shouldn't word it in that way, but I'm just exhausted trying to explain what we're participating in, what others try and force me to continue to participate in. And this is not anyone that's a regular part of my life, but it definitely is intended to help you to come to terms with why I choose to allow myself to be triggered sometimes. Because sometimes it's like, all right, you just volunteered to show the class what happens when you start fucking with a honey badger. Did you ever find your balls, by the way? I put it in a satin purse on the dresser. I put it there. I even tied it close. I tied a bow and I left it there for you. Okay. I'm devoted to service. It's time for you to become devoted to your service too. Your service includes service to self. All right. You have to serve yourself. You have to serve your growth. And in doing that and allowing people to witness this process, you are empowering, supporting, and inspiring them to do the same for themselves, to choose the same for themselves. And this is part of the reason why I allow myself to just be who I am. And if you don't like who I am, first off, there are millions of other channels. Second off, I don't care. I don't care. So, okay, here we go. We are experiencing confusion as we travel our shamanic journey. Okay. With this, energy and growth is coming from all different directions, and it's coming in ways we're not accustomed to because many of us are so used to being stuffed in a box, being nice and neat and orderly and stacked on top of each other. Because that's what society does. Sit in your fucking box. We're going to stack you up. Okay. The ones that get stacked higher, that the ones that are lower have to carry and shoulder, y'all are better because, you're higher up. Fact is, we're all in boxes. I don't care what your tax bracket is. We're all still in boxes. And the Blu-rays have come here to initiate things that really begin to dissolve the boxes. And Pisces, being as you are so highly intuitive, you're one of the first ones to be able to detect when your box has dissolved to a point where you can break yourself out of it. That's what this is all about. This is what people need to witness Pisces doing. So this is about us embracing the transition, okay? The confusion leads to the questioning, that leads to the awareness of the shamanic journey, which leads to the embracing of our transition. We are in a transition. That's all it is. But just because we are in a transition doesn't negate the fact that that transition can be very viscerally painful for many people. I'm talking about destruction, not just of our mental and emotional constructs, not just of this paradigm, but also of all the physical, tangible portions of this paradigm. Financial ruin, ruin of relationships, romantic and platonic relationships, ruin of so many different things. Does that mean everyone is going to be ruined? No, that means those of us who are willing to embrace the transition and flow with change, we are exercising a state of flexible strength, strength in flexibility. It's hard to break something that is flexible and fortified. It's very, very hard. Now, if you want to be very rigid about how you're going to experience this, expect your entire world to crumble. Okay? Whether that just be mentally, emotionally, in real life. That is up to you, the degree of crumbling. It's really up to you. Okay? So you have to begin pushing the envelope. Card number 17, push the envelope. It's time for us to push back. Don't allow yourself to be sealed away as words unspoken, because what does an envelope contain? Written words that have yet to be read, words that are not heard yet, words left unspoken. You are more than words left unspoken. Push back. Do not allow yourself to be silenced. It's time for you to really push back. So, spiritual commitment. Are you going to commit to yourself? It's time for you to commit to yourself, Pisces. It's really, really time for you to commit to yourself, okay? When you commit to yourself, the people who are supposed to be a part of your journey, the people who help to grow you in some way, shape, or form, and it doesn't always have to be non-toxic growth, they will be committed to remaining on that path with you. Don't be so afraid of what you're going to lose that you end up losing everything. Because that's usually what happens. that fear of losing something is usually the very component that causes you to lose what you're afraid of losing. So allow yourself to really flow, allow yourself to laugh at certain parts of this video. Because really though, we couldn't keep it all serious when people be acting clownish. But they didn't see that coming though. You guys, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Also, I'm going to be making an announcement at some point today across all my social media. I have a couple projects that I really, really feel like you guys would benefit from. I really, really feel that. Look at all my stuff. I'm Emmie evolving across the entire board. For all of social media, if I have an account, my handle is Emmie evolving. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.